3 women, 3 invisible revolutions. One healed a disease that once exiled the sick. One photographed the code of life itself. One built a weapon decades before the world understood it. They were brilliant. They were silenced. And they were almost erased from history. Until now. She was young, barely 23, and already doing what no one else could. A black woman in 1910's America. The odds were against her before she even stepped into a lab. She became the first woman, and the first black person, to graduate with a chemistry degree from the University of Hawaii. Then, the university's first black female professor. In a white man's world, she made herself impossible to ignore, not with noise, but with science. The problem was leprosy, a disease that exiled people from their homes. No cure, no return, only isolation and slow decay. One treatment existed, a thick oil from the chalmugra tree, used for centuries in folk medicine. But no doctor could make it work. Too unstable, too painful to inject. She found a way, a chemical modification that no one else had figured out. She made it water-soluble, injectable, usable. For the first time in history, people with leprosy were walking out of clinics, cured. But then, she collapsed. A sudden illness. Some say it was chemical exposure from her own work. She died within months, in 1916, at just 24 years old. She never saw her cure save a life. And then came the second death. Her credit. Another chemist, the university's president, claimed her formula. He renamed it, branded it under his own name. For decades, the world thought he had done it. But she was there, one of the first, a mind that opened the door so others could walk through. Almost a century later, the silence broke. Historians uncovered the truth. The university that once erased her now honors her. February 29th is Alice Ball Day in Hawaii, and the treatment she created is now known by its rightful name, the Ball method. 36 years later, half a world away, another scientist was chasing a different kind of code, one hidden inside our very cells. And once again, the truth would be buried. She didn't work for fame or prizes. She worked with light. Her tool? X-rays. She used them to look into the tiniest of structures, crystals, viruses, and DNA. At King's College London in 1952, she took a picture. A blurry, radiant image. The best X-ray diffraction photo of DNA ever captured. It revealed a spiral, a double helix. That image would change biology forever. But she didn't publish it. Not yet. She was still calculating, still testing, still doing what science is supposed to do, being sure. Then someone took her photo, without permission, and handed it to her competitors. They used it to build a model. They published the discovery in 1953. They won the Nobel Prize in 1962. The world celebrated their names. Hers, not mentioned. She never even knew. While others stood on stages, she was still in the lab, studying RNA, polioviruses, tobacco mosaic virus. Then, she got sick. Ovarian cancer, maybe from years of unshielded X-ray exposure. She died in 1958 at just 37. Her notes, her work, her brilliance, buried with her. And the scientific world moved on, without ever saying thank you. Decades later, historians uncovered letters, lab notes, and photos. The picture that made the model, it was hers. Today, no honest telling of DNA's story leaves her out. Biology textbooks now carry her name. And her X-ray? Still the clearest image of the double helix ever taken. The woman who revealed the shape of life? Rosalind Franklin. One woman had her discovery taken before she knew it was history. The next? Her invention sat in a drawer, untouched, for over 50 years. She wasn't in a lab. She was on a screen, famous for her face. But behind it, she was building something the military didn't even understand. The world saw her, but never really looked. She had escaped long before the war began. In 1937, she fled Austria, left behind a controlling husband, a weapons dealer with ties to the Nazi regime. She saw fascism rising, saw anti-Semitic laws take root, saw her people vanish. She landed in Hollywood, changed her name, became a star, But beauty bored her. So at night, she invented. When World War II erupted, she watched American ships get torpedoed by German U-boats. And she couldn't stand it. So she designed something radical. A frequency-hopping radio system meant to guide Allied torpedoes without being jammed. Secure, fast, invisible to enemies. She built it with a composer, using piano rolls as inspiration. In 1942, they patented it. They offered it to the U.S. Navy. The response? Laughed off. Dismissed. Filed away. The Navy wouldn't use the tech for another 20 years. And when they did, they never told her. She grew old. Forgotten. Ridiculed for her looks, her past, her silence. But her invention? It became the foundation for modern wireless tech. Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, GPS, all trace back to that system. In the 1990s, long after her patent had expired, she was finally honored by scientists, engineers, and the U.S. military. The woman who helped invent secure wireless communication? Hedy Lamarr. A formula, a photograph, a signal. 3 different revolutions. 3 different women. One common truth. They were brilliant, and they were nearly erased. But brilliance doesn't disappear. It just waits until someone finally looks.